First, here at 6, the United States, along with Israel, have agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran, according to a White House official. But it's all under one condition, that Iran agrees to reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz.
President Donald Trump's announcement came just hours before his deadline to escalate the conflict. The president previously threatened to destroy a whole civilization. Trump says he has received a 10-point proposal from Iran, and negotiations on a possible conflict solution will continue.
Alaska's senior senator Lisa Murkowski condemned the president's threats, calling them, quote, saber-rattling, and that all parties need to de-escalate. She went on to say, quote, it undermines our longstanding role as a global beacon of freedom and directly endangers Americans both abroad and at home. Meanwhile, Senator Dan Sullivan's team also put out a statement today saying he's been in constant communication with senior Trump administration officials. This statement said in part, quote, while the details will be forthcoming, the terms under which the ceasefire was agreed to have the potential to be positive news. As a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator Sullivan will continue the oversight role he's been playing since the conflict with Iran began. And over in the state capitol, lawmakers have largely declined to comment on the recent developments overseas.
Our political reporter Will Courtney did speak with one lawmaker who said he was happy the threats were not delivered, but that the situation was hardly deserving of praise.
The fact that our president is threatening to obliterate a civilization is something that is shameworthy. And I appreciate the fact that he's backing down for 2 weeks, but it doesn't excuse the rhetoric that he's already engaged in over the past 48 to 72 hours.
All right, we should note Alaska's news source has reached out to the Republican minority for caucus for comment, but no comment has been returned. Of course, it is a developing story. We will continue to follow, updating you on air on our website as things evolve.
All right, John, thank you. And here in Anchorage, police are looking into an officer-involved shooting.
It all started with an early morning disturbance call on Bragaw. Earlier this afternoon, APD released a video statement with more details. Johnson Kuhn has been following this, joining us with the latest, Johnson.
That's right, John. Augusta, it was this afternoon that Chief Sean Case addressed some of the unanswered questions from this morning's incident that police say started as a disturbance involving a weapon at a home. APD says officers responded around 3 a.m. to the 700 block of Bragaw Street. Case said officers contacted the victim, who told them they had been choked, there was an infant in the residence, and the suspect had access to weapons. Officers tried reaching the suspect in the home, but Case said the suspect ran off on foot just prior to 6 a.m. Chief Case confirmed both the suspect and the involved officer fired their weapons. Officers later found the suspect nearby and tried to make contact when things got physical. A police canine was brought in, and officers were able to take the person into custody. APD says the suspect was taken to a local hospital with injuries from being apprehended by the canine. Case said no bystanders or the canine were hurt. Neither the officer or the suspect were hit by gunfire. And a neighbor who lives next door to the Bragaw Street home says he woke up to what sounded like gunfire around 7 this morning.
Yeah, I got up and looked around outside. I didn't see anything, but yeah, we heard some gunshots, woke me up out of sleep. It was definitely very close.
The most important piece of information we have today: no one was injured by gunfire during this incident. The victim and her child are safe. The suspect was taken into custody, and all of our responding officers are going home to their families.
And police say the officer involved will be placed on at least 4 days of administrative leave. Names will be released publicly when it reaches 72 hours after the incident. John, Augusta.
Thanks for following that, Johnson. And in a separate officer-involved shooting investigation, a man who was shot during a situation with a Bethel police officer has been arrested in Anchorage.
Yesterday, 53-year-old Wasili Larson was taken into custody on 2 counts of third-degree assault. The Alaska Bureau of Investigation says the arrest comes from an investigation that was already in progress before the March 25th officer-involved shooting. That's when Bethel police say Larson pulled a knife on them when they told him to stop standing in the road. An officer shot him, and Larson was taken to the hospital for treatment.
And pivoting now to some election coverage. We're only a couple of hours out from polls closing here in Anchorage in our municipal election.
All right, Joe Allgood is live at one of the ballot drop boxes, at the Lusac Library, Midtown Anchorage. Joe, what do voters need to know before those polls close?
Yeah, John, most importantly, voters have until 8 p.m. to drop off their ballots. That's about 2 hours from now to drop off your ballot at any one of the secure drop boxes across Anchorage. Voting centers, in-person voting centers, have already closed, so hopefully if you're planning to do that, you got to one before 6 p.m. Here's a look at what is on the ballot. We've got 6 assembly races. 3 of those are guaranteed to be new faces because the current members are not running again. We've got 2 school board races. Those current occupants are also term limited, so they're not going to be anyone we've seen on the board right now. And finally, 12 ballot propositions. That covers everything from bond proposals to a special tax levy for education. Once again, you have until 8 p.m. to drop off your ballot. You can do that. There's 18 ballot boxes. This one here at Lusac Library is pretty busy right now. You can also mail your ballot. Just make sure that you have a postal worker postmark it right in front of you so that it gets in. And the only place to do that right now is the post office on Postmark Drive at the airport. We'll expect the first results to come in at 8:30, and we'll be streaming those live on our website so you can watch those there. John, Augusta.
All right, Joe Allgood at the Lusac Library. Thank you, Joe. And we've been keeping a close eye on voter turnout today.
Lauren Maxwell also went down to the Lusac Library to keep track, and here's what she observed as she talked to some of you taking part.
There's still plenty of time to vote. The polls don't close until 8 o'clock tonight. That's the time when they'll lock the doors on vote centers, like here at the Lusac Library. They'll take those last ballots right out of the box. Now, we talked to some voters today and asked them why they waited until the last day. On Tuesday afternoon, a steady stream of drivers were crossing voting off the list outside the Lusac Library.
It sat on my desk, and then by today, I said, okay, I got to do it.
One woman told us the reason she waited,
procrastination,
almost made her miss Election Day.
I got up this morning and I thought, I have a couple more days. Oh, no, I don't. I have to hurry up and get it done.
And lots of others were getting it done inside the library vote center. It's the place to go to vote in person, or if you didn't get a ballot in the mail.
Regardless of where you live in Anchorage, that we've got a ballot.
At the Anchorage Election Center, officials say they've gotten plenty of ballots back.
So as of yesterday afternoon, we had about 42,000. This time last year, it was 29,000. So we're ahead, which is always exciting.
That's a return rate of about 21%. It's a number they're hoping will grow. Back at the library, one woman told us voting is too important to miss.
This is our life. We need to vote. That's the only way we can ensure that things are going to get done.
There's still time to make sure your voice is heard. Now, again, those polls close at 8 o'clock tonight, and we will see some preliminary results as early as 8:45 or maybe even 9. But the thing to keep in mind is because this is a mail-in election, there will be votes coming through the mail that will be counted over the next 2 weeks. So we will be bringing you results every day as they come in, but the final election won't be certified until the Assembly does that, and that will happen on April 28th. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
And as voters try to get those ballots turned in tonight, I guess we got to ask how the weather's going to look.
Yes, if you're headed out, Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joining us now with that forecast.
Yeah, right now pretty good. We're seeing some breezy winds out there, but otherwise dry conditions and mild temperatures, much warmer than anything we've been used to recently. I want to show you a live look outside right now here in Anchorage. It's clouds hanging a little bit low, but it's 41 degrees. Watch out for those wind gusts to about 30 miles per hour. Those will continue through the evening, calming down as we head into the overnight hours. As we look ahead to what's coming next, that snow rain mix that we saw this morning, it's going to be back again tomorrow. So keep that rain jacket handy. A few showers tomorrow. Those temperatures are still warming, and yes, that means more melting is likely. That storm moving from west to east across the southern portion of the state will mean those snow rain mix scattered showers continue for your Wednesday, but that heat's not going anywhere. 41 in Anchorage and Fairbanks, 40 in Juneau. Bethel starting out with those showers, but some nice sunshine into the afternoon. Temperatures are warming even as we head into the end of the week, and I'll show you how much warmer it gets with that full forecast here in a few minutes.
Well, recently at Kincaid Park, we got those recently returned Alaskans, gearing up for one more race, okay, against, we'll call it some new competition.
All righty, and these Olympians are there with our Charlie Fellows. Now, what's the scene looking like?
And if you're wondering about during the relay, whether you are going to be starting running.
Yeah, we're here at Kincaid Park for the final Tuesday night race of the season here at the park. Also, the final part of this three-part honoring event of the Olympians that have just gotten home from the Olympics, getting ready for a bit of a relay race around here. Lots of folks signing up, as you can see behind me. It's a 1.1 kilometer race around Kincaid Park, and like I said, a relay with Olympians joining forces with random folks that are just signing up for one of these races here, getting a chance to say they raced alongside or perhaps even beat an Olympian. One of those Olympians that's in attendance telling us they're looking forward to the chance to race without the pressure that the Olympics bring.
Looking forward to the just like fun atmosphere, trying to seeing some people that I haven't seen in a while, doing a different format of race that haven't done in a while, and yeah, it's just fun to kind of mix it up and enjoy being on skis without like the pressure of World Cup or an Olympic race. So it's a really fun and cool thing to be a part of.
And we'll have more in the 10 o'clock news from this event as these Olympians get a chance to race amongst the Alaskan crowd that cheered them on so loudly when they were over in Milan. Charlie Fellows, Alaska's news source.
Thank you, Charlie. Can you imagine, like, you or I just out there hanging with anybody?
Would you get competitive?
No, certainly not. Not at all.
I'm sorry, but who's out there competing?
Soak it all in.
Yeah. So special,
Very
though,
fun.
that they came back to do that.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.